In April 2021, a woman named Shea Bryan and her husband were inside their home in North Carolina when their 13-year-old son went outside to walk their dog. As soon as he walked out the door, the Ring camera footage captured a suspicious silver BMW stop in front of the family's front line, after which a strange man got out of the vehicle and approached the teenager. "Hone you for a while, huh?" Already without even introducing himself, the man asked the boy if he lives in the neighborhood. According to the teenager's mother, she and her husband had taught their son about stranger danger multiple times in the past. But on this particular occasion, the boy appeared to freeze up out of fear. What's most disturbing about the recording is that the man didn't waste a split second to get out of the car and talk to the boy, which suggests he was either prowling around the neighborhood waiting for someone to step out of their house, or he was very familiar with the Bryant family's routine and was specifically targeting the boy. Fortunately, the teenager's father was able to intervene before anything could happen. What you got to ask, my son? I was wondering about the airplane noise, talking to my son, and ain't got no adult out here. That's kind of creepy. When the boy's father confronts him, the stranger is forced to think quickly on his feet and blurts out that he was wondering about the airplane noise in the area. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be driving around a random neighborhood waiting for a 13-year-old kid to walk out of his house just to ask him a question like that, and the father doesn't appear to buy the story for a second. Shea Bryant, the boy's mother, mentioned she remained apprehensive after the incident, especially since it was never confirmed what exactly the man was planning to do. The suspect drove off soon after and was never seen again on July 15, 2022. A TikToker uploaded this chilling footage of an unexpected visit to her home while she was gone. In it, a disturbing voice can be heard asking to be let in at her house's back door. The person repeats the words, "Let me in," as they scratch and knock on the back door. The eerie quality of the voice, coupled with the fact that nobody can be seen on screen, led a lot of viewers to come up with different theories as to who may have been at the door during the entire video. A human shadow can be easily made out in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, but the person, themselves, never walks in front of the camera. Some viewers suggested this alludes to the footage being staged. Others, however, think that someone with malicious intent could be targeting her house and urge the user to be careful. To this day, it hasn't been confirmed what exactly this footage shows, and no further updates have been made by the TikTok user in August 2019. A security camera inside a home in Troy, Michigan captured a suspicious man walking up the stairs and looking around the house. Based on his body language, it doesn't look like he knows his way around the home, and that's because he broke in. Although the next part of the incident wasn't caught on camera. A few seconds after walking up the stairs, the man walked into the homeowner's bedroom where he found her sleeping disturbingly. The woman reported that she woke up screaming to the man standing over her bed. The intruder immediately ran out of the house, but even with the footage, police were left with no leads on who this could have been or how he had gotten in. It wasn't until 2 months later, in October of that year, that the same man was once again captured on camera in another home in Rochester Hills, Michigan. In this incident, the man can be climbing onto the hot tub and peering through the window for a few seconds before walking away. Although the incident was also reported by this homeowner, the man continued to dodge the police for several months after that. Then, in January 2020, the man made yet another appearance in the area. In this instance, he peered through the kitchen window of a house in Bloomfield Township and hid behind a tree, after which the homeowner received a notification from his home security camera alerting him to the stranger's presence. Even though the first part of the incident wasn't caught on camera, a footage of the man walking along the side of the house was later released once again. The intruder evaded the authorities, and it wasn't until a few days later that the police finally made a break in the case. In February 2020, the same man was seen by a cop running from a residential yard in Bloomfield Township in the same neighborhood as the last time he was captured on video. This time he was arrested, issued a citation and a restraining order, and forced to wear a GPS tether until his court date. The man was identified as 27-year-old Donovan Johnson, and it was later revealed that he worked as a bankruptcy attorney after he was put in jail and released on bond. There were no further updates on the case, but if he was, it's likely he's still serving time to this day. In September 2018, a man named Jeff Null Upla Convicted added a disturbing video to his channel, which he titled, "Man." Trying to enter my home in the middle of the night in it, a creepy man can be seen approaching the front door of a home and seemingly attempting to find a way in. At first, the break-in seems pretty non-threatening, but a few seconds later, the man begins pulling on the doorknob and talking to himself. "What do I do? What am I?" Music, seeing light. Some of what he says you can somewhat make out, but most of it is unclear before the man can go any further with his breaking attempt. The homeowner calls out from a window and threatens to call the police. "Okay, I'll was just look, front dog, F him, you whoa. You don't have to get all like that and stuff, honey. You know, we could be friends." The man gives an almost laughable excuse saying he was just looking for his dog, Foe. He then tells the woman that they could be friends before walking off into the night. The man was never seen again by the uploader, and they still have no idea what his intentions were, if he had gotten into the house. This terrifying footage was captured in April 2023 in Connecticut at 9:30 a.m. A man was recorded walking up the front door of a house wearing an orange vest and holding a package in his hand. As soon as the homeowner opens the door, things get disturbing pretty quickly to make himself seem more genuine. The man pretends to read an address on the package as the homeowner makes his way to the door, but little did he know the man wasn't there to deliver a package. "I don't know this is for you," in an attempt to confuse the homeowner. The man tries to give him the package, but when the owner hesitates, the suspect immediately pulls out a weapon and tries to back the owner into his house. However, the homeowner pushes the man away before retreating into his home. After the armed man ran away, he was identified by police as 37-year-old Xavier Otero and was arrested at a family member's house in nearby Hartford, Connecticut. Otero was promptly charged with home invasion, threatening criminal possession of a firearm, and criminal attempt to commit unlawful restraint. During the investigation, the cops learned about an alleged plot to take part in a home invasion where the occupants of the home were going to be restrained with zip ties and robbed at gunpoint. The suspect also mentioned something about possibly invading a second home in Manchester, Connecticut, while executing a search and seizure warrant on the home where they found Otero. Police said they found approximately 1.1 kilograms of drugs and other items commonly used in the operation of a drug factory. In the same room, the cops found a bag full of heavy-duty zip ties shortly after Otero's arrest. Police also took the driver of the truck into custody and charged him with conspiracy to commit home invasion and conspiracy to commit unlawful restraint. A month after these arrests, a third suspect was taken into custody, where he was identified as the mastermind behind the operation and promptly sentenced to prison. As of now, all three suspects are still in jail. This eerie and confusing footage was captured by a homeowner's Ring camera one night in August 2023 in an otherwise peaceful neighborhood in Bowling Green, Ohio. In the footage, a masked man can be seen ringing the doorbell and immediately running away. Initially, the incident appears to be a pretty lame ding-dong ditch attempt, which almost every homeowner has been the victim of at some point or another. But looking closely at the footage, you'll notice the man never actually ran music away. While the man stood in the middle of the street staring eerily at the door, the homeowner made his way down the stairs after being woken up by the sound of the doorbell. As soon as he saw this figure just eyeing him down in the middle of the street, he called the cops the next day. Bowling Green police posted the video on Facebook asking the man's neighbors to help identify the masked intruder, and it didn't take long for other residents of the area to complain that they had been through similar incidents in the days leading up to the uploading of the video. Following the incident, the man was never identified by police. His intentions are still music unknown. On a rainy morning in 2020, a Ring camera captured a woman walking up to the front door of a house and ringing the doorbell repeatedly. Strangely, the woman keeps her mouth wide open almost the entire time, but it's clear if this is due to the influence of drugs or maybe if it's a symptom of potential illness. After a few seconds of waiting, the woman turns around and leaves. The fact that she can be seen, apparently putting her fingers in her mouth as she turns to leave, suggests that she might have been in pain. A theory that was echoed by several viewers in the rented thread where the clip was originally posted. Other viewers suggested the woman might have been sleepwalking as a result of some powerful sleep medication. But because the clip was captured at 6 a.m., it's also possible that she had been wandering around all night. However, it remains unclear if the woman was genuinely asking for help or if she was possibly planning to do something else entirely. This footage was captured at around 1:35 p.m. on October 16, 2018 in Alberta, Canada. According to the homeowner, he received a motion alert from his Ring camera while he was at work. Because it was unusual for him to have visitors in the middle of the day, he immediately activated the live view feature. And that's when he saw this. At first, he mentioned how he didn't think there was anything strange going on, and seeing how the visitor was dressed similarly to most utility and telecom workers in the area. But after the man began banging insistently on the door and peering through the window into the house, he immediately became suspicious. After prying at the door with a glove to avoid leaving fingerprints, the man motions to his accomplice to come to the door, and that's when things get even more disturbing. Get away from the door while the man in the Yankees cap acts as a lookout. The man in the vest uses what appears to be a large screwdriver to violently pry the door open and break in. After managing to get the door partially open, the homeowner manages to activate the two-way talk function and makes his presence known. After the video was made public, the homeowner was interviewed by local police about the incident. The video was then posted to Facebook, where many neighbors and nearby residents claimed to know who the two men were. However, it was never confirmed that the two suspects were apprehended based on what was captured on video. The two men were most likely planning an armed robbery, but with no further context, it's impossible to know if that's really what they had in mind or if they planned to do something worse. As of this upload, there have been no further updates on the incident. Imagine waking up and discovering that such an incident occurred at your front door the previous night. Basketball. A group of individuals clad in climb attire can be seen. His video has people absolutely horrified. On July 21, 2021, a woman was in her home alone in Las Vegas. It was about 8 p.m. and she'd been making dinner waiting for her husband to return home from work. It was a very hot evening, so she opened the window to let the breeze in. But this soon proved to be a massive mistake. A man had been wandering the streets of this woman's neighborhood until he saw the open window and the woman inside. This led to the man approaching the house and ringing the doorbell. "Are you sure? I just ran your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you." "Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions. Are you sure?" What are you sure? I just rang your doorbell, 'cause I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? The man rings the doorbell and knocks many times, repeating the same things over and over again. However, the woman inside had never met this man. She had no idea who he was, so did not answer the door. But as if that wasn't weird enough, the woman never responded to anything this man said, meaning this guy wasn't speaking to anyone and had simply been talking to himself. Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? The woman inside the house was fearing for her safety, so decided to hide, and that's when the man tries to open the door, but thankfully it was locked. He begins to walk away, cursing under his breath. But as he's about to leave, the woman's husband, who's still at work, begins speaking to the man through the doorbell, which leads to them and revealing why he was ringing on the doorbell to begin with. Are you? What? Yeah, are you sure? Who are you? Hey, I just had a couple questions I just wanted to ask you about. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out there. Because you have her open the door, girl that's on the other side of the store when she lets me in. The man revealed exactly what he had planned. Just imagine how powerless the husband felt hearing this, knowing how close to danger his wife really was. I have a knife, a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on the door again. If the woman had opened the door or the door had been unlocked, she might have lost her life that very evening, but thankfully this did not happen. Instead, the man walked away muttering the same phrases over and over. He stopped to look at the house for a moment, but then walked away. Into the night, police were called, but by the time they arrived, the man was gone, leaving. The woman scared for her life, so she posted the doorbell camera footage. Online, the footage soon went viral, which might have actually saved a life. The next day, someone who had seen the footage recognized the same man walking in a nearby neighborhood. The police were called, and the man was soon arrested. When police asked the man's name, he said he was the Holy Spirit. However, he was later identified as Christopher Saman, who had various hard charges. But what scared people the most was his mugshot. However, Christopher didn't always look like this. Just a few years ago, he looked totally normal. And according to his LinkedIn, he had a stable job and a good life. It's scary to see his transformation over the years, as has spiraled into total madness. Some believe that he may have a psychological condition. But his dramatic change in appearance in such a short time led to some believing substances may be involved. But whatever caused his actions, that day, the doorbell camera footage is bone-chilling. But it could have been so much worse had this woman opened the door. But this doorbell camera footage is even more terrifying. A woman had just got home from walking her dog. You can then see her looking over to the right before quickly running inside, and it doesn't take long to find out why a man walks up to her door and tries to open it, but it's locked. The man then puts on gloves. The man was also holding zip ties. He looks into the house and tries to open the door a few more times until eventually the woman's neighbor comes outside. The man then picks up a hose and pretends to be doing yard work. Once the neighbor leaves, the man goes around to the woman's back door. The man attempts to break down the back door. By this point, the woman had locked herself inside a room and called the police. While on the outside, the man tried breaking in almost every window. He broke off the screen to one of the back windows, but was unable to get in. And by the time police arrived, the man had left. The woman posted the video to TikTok to try and identify this man. But unfortunately, the man remains unidentified. But an even more disturbing doorbell camera video comes from the UK at 4 a.m. This man and woman walk up to an apartment and ring the doorbell. Immediately, you can see something is not right. The woman's mouth is taped, and she looks absolutely terrified. She stares directly into the doorbell camera, as if to say, "Don't open the door." The man next to her then reaches for something in his jacket. Given what the doorbell camera is capturing, you may think there's no way anyone inside the apartment would open the door. But surprisingly, that's exactly what they do for you. See, this woman is the mother of the man inside the apartment. Do again. Now fearing for his mother's safety, the homeowner opens the door. the homeowner's mother, waits outside while the man and his accomplice, who was hiding around the corner, enter the apartment before, telling the woman to follow him in. It's believed these two men then stole jewelry from the homeowner before fleeing the apartment, thankfully leaving both the homeowner and his mother safely. Inside, I can't imagine what this homeowner must have felt, seeing his mother clearly in danger on his doorbell camera. But while the video is terrifying, thankfully no one was hurt. But an even more unnerving piece of doorbell camera footage has to be this. It's November 12th, 2019, at exactly 11:11 p.m. A family in Los Angeles hears screaming, despite being very creeped out. They go on their porch to find out what's going on. The family and other nearby residents immediately call the police. But by the time police arrived, the vehicle was long gone. People who saw the car said it was a four-door white hatchback, and as the woman was screaming for help, a man in the driver's seat was apologizing non-stop before the car sped off. The investigation is still ongoing. The screams are chilling and the woman is clearly scared for her life, but despite the video and witnesses, this case remains unexplained. But an even more eerie doorbell camera video comes from Ohio. One night, more haunting doorbell camera video is this footage was captured in Texas in November 2019. It's the middle of the night, and a young girl holding a flashlight runs up to a house. "Help, please, please help." She knocks on the door and asks for help. But unfortunately, the homeowners are away. The girl is clearly scared, but it's hard to tell who or what she's running from. After realizing the homeowners aren't in, the girl runs away. I'd like to tell you guys that we know this girl is okay, but unfortunately, I can't. The footage remains unexplained to this day. Some theorized the girl was being used as bait for a burglary, while others believe it may be the same girl from a missing persons case in South Dakota. A 9-year-old girl named Serenity Denard went missing and was allegedly seen in Texas just a few days before this doorbell camera footage was recorded. But while there is our semblance, nothing has yet been confirmed, and we still don't know what happened to this girl. Another very creepy doorbell camera video from Texas. This in 2021, a woman had recorded this creepy man standing outside her apartment almost every day for an entire month. The woman had called police various times, but every time the man had left before police arrived, the man stands eerily still outside the woman's apartment, possibly waiting to see if she comes outside. In one video, you can hear the man talking, but it's hard to make out what he's saying. But despite all of the videos, the man's identity remains unknown, as does his motive for standing outside this woman's apartment every day for over a month. But an even scarier doorbell video, also from Texas, is this. It's 4:30 a.m. on April 29th, 2023. A young woman runs up to this house and rings the doorbell. No, she looks over her shoulder multiple times, but it's hard to know who or what. She's running from the woman, starts crying when no one opens the door. A few moments later, a car headlight can be seen, causing the woman to hide behind a pillar, and she does the same thing when she sees the neighbor's driveway lights turn on. After a few minutes, a car's headlights illuminate the driveway, and you can see the woman walk towards it when the video was posted online. Many speculated she may be the victim of trafficking, while others believed this woman had a more sinister motive. People pointed out that if she was in danger, she wouldn't have heed when she saw the neighbor's driveway light also. Why did she calmly walk away to the headlights when she realized no one was home? But the strangest part is the beginning of the video. Look closely, and you can see the woman isn't actually running at all. Instead, she calmly walks up to the house and only starts running when she sees the doorbell camera, suggesting this entire thing may have been a burglary set up. A few weeks later in the same neighborhood, police arrested this woman for burglary. Some believe this is the same woman in the doorbell camera video, but this has never been officially confirmed nor denied. But this video from 2019 is even more chilling. A man is seen approaching a front porch. He then dumps an entire fuel container on the door before trying to ignite the fuel using a lighter. But when the fuel doesn't catch fire, the man gives up and walks away. Thankfully, the man had made a mistake using diesel fuel instead of regular gasoline. Diesel fuel does not ignite very easily, but had this man used regular gasoline, the house and himself would have immediately gone up in flames. In the house was a mother and her 2 young children. She immediately called police. And that's when police made a disturbing discovery. The man in the video was the woman's own neighbor, living just across her street. The woman said she'd never met the man and had no idea why he would want to harm her or her kids. When questioned, the Manam Kang fam said that he had seen a ghost and was trying to get rid of it. He was later charged with attempted arson and attempted homicide. Tell me in the comments which of these doorbell camera videos was the most scary. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and watch this video on screen next. I think you'll find it pretty wild.